Well, the weather's sort of nice. I mean, it's early spring here in March. I'll take it. What, didn't the groundhog die? The groundhog just died. What does that mean? Didn't de Blasio dropped it or something and it died, right? I thought that's what I read. I think that means global warming kills us all. When the groundhog dies, that means global warming kills us all. Yeah, so here we are live from the East Village. What the hell are we going to talk about today? We'll find out, I guess. What is there? Well, the big lesson I want to talk about is in New York, you got to be aggressive. This is the big lesson for me this week, is there's a lot of big fish here. And the thing that I've seen in my 15 years going on in this city is the people who are aggressive get ahead. When I worked at Haru, Hell on Earth restaurant I worked in Midtown, 48th between Park and Mad. Mindy, my coworker, be aggressive, she said. You're not aggressive enough. She got in my face. She worked 7 days a week. I didn't even realize that was like possible. She worked 5 doubles and half days on the weekends. That's insane. And so that's, that was what I was expected to, that was the level I was expected to perform at. And she got in my face and she just goes, be aggressive, be aggressive. And I don't think I learned the lesson. It's hard for me to be aggressive. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot out of me to be aggressive all the time. And maybe I should just get the hell out of New York. Maybe I'm not meant for this place. Maybe I'm not a super predator like I thought I am. Well, it's not even that. It's just like there's big people. It's not even like aggression. It's just like they don't know any better. There's people that you do have to, I don't know. You have to go for it, where people will walk all over you. People will use you to their ends. They'll interrupt you. They'll take over. And it's a tricky game. It's like playing pinball. Your ball could fall off the table at any time. And you're trying to keep it on the table. You got to be, you got to have touch. It's, to get it into those bonuses and stuff. Ashley's good at this stuff. Ashley has the touch. She's like a safe cracker. I don't know what it is, but here I am. What has the world come to? I'm walking. I literally am using a selfie stick right now. I want people to know that I can't film the selfie stick because that's like an impossibility. That's like the paradox, the selfie stick paradox. A selfie stick cannot film itself. But I'm literally walking around with my fucking iPhone on a selfie stick between Avenue B and C. This would not have even been possible. Supposedly, I was talking to somebody the other day. Was it Jason Trachtenberg? Shout out Jason Trachtenberg was, saying they never go to B and C. That's pretty much the consensus. Anything past Avenue A was like a military zone. And here we are with the selfie stick. In 24. What a world, huh? It's turned upside down. Who'd have thought? And here we are. Jesus, are they going to ban TikTok? I should probably talk about this. This feels important to sort this out. We're walking, we're talking. We're flâneurs, okay? That's what this is about. This is a lot of my work is about walking, talking, looking, flaneur life, nomad life, traveling life, turning what you see into poetry, into language as a form of digestion, as a form of making something of experience, as a form of souvenir. And meaning, giving meaning, narrative, everything, right? We give narrative to every goddamn thing. That's what I think Larry David is so good at capturing. He makes the minutia enormous and have enormous stakes. They're on Judge Judy, arguing about, I don't even remember what the fuck it was, his $200 or whatever. Look at all the people eating. Look at all the bourgeois people eating. This is Avenue C, everybody. What is that? What happened to Zum Schneider? That's what I want to know. I like Zum Schneider, man. Happy birthday, Jack Kerouac. It's Jack Kerouac's 102nd birthday today. We did the open mic. I mean, it was epic. It's safe to say it was a true epic. I mean, it was really a good show, if I may say so. I had a good time. It's always the people make it great. The talent is continuously delivers, is what I have to say. We're very, very lucky, and so the show kind of performs itself. Oh yeah, okay, so yes, poetry, life, flanner life, walking, talking, ambulatory, we're bipeds. That feels poetry, it's feet, right? Stressed, unstressed. That feels like walking to me. Stressed, unstressed. It's so obvious that our rhyme, our rhythm, life is rhythm, right? We're all just waves, we're all just signals. We're all just vibrations. We're different vibrations. And those vibrations have a certain rhythm, which gives them shape, color, character, identifiability. And so you resonate, you see the people that you vibrate with who are on the same frequency as you. So we want to go with high vibe, high frequency, high energy people. I think this was Zum Schneider. Or this was Pangea. What was that? Esperanto. There was a place called Esperanto. Oh, this is New Blue right here. I've actually never been or seen it. There it is, New Blue. We're lucky to have some performers from New Blue from time to time. Shout out MCP, I think. New Blue. Yeah, so what else? Quality. Okay. Apparently, one of the major crimes is people's phones are getting stolen, just like on the street. Guys will ride by like on a fucking bike and like steal a phone. So I'm a little bit nervous doing this in East Village, or anywhere for that matter. Somebody could just ride by on a moped and snatch my phone right now. Okay, so I want to talk about the TikTok ban, right? Yes, it's all over the place. It's channel surfing of the mind, okay? These kids today, they have short attention spans. They're on TikTok all day. They don't read. They don't know how to read. People are not going to know how to read in 50 years, okay? It's called evolution. Look it up. It's all going to be video. It's all going to be video chats. So the sooner that we get on TikTok, well, okay, so it seems to me they really just want to own it. It's like mafia shit. They're jealous that America doesn't own this company, that we didn't think of it. So how about that for the free market? We're just going to you're going to ban it, you're going to sell it to us. That's literally what the mafia would do. Look, you're either going out of business or we own you. That's literally what the mafia would do. Okay, so that's what they're doing. I think they said that's going to pass. This is basically going to pass. So they're worried. Their reasoning is, I guess people know this. Their reasoning is the Chinese government, the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, the dreaded CCP, has got ties to this ByteDance company. Supposedly, they can access the information, U.S. citizens' data on TikTok. The Chinese Communist Party can. Which, to be honest, doesn't worry me that much. Is that insane to say? I'm more worried about Facebook. and Google and all the American companies. Twitter, definitely. That's why I got off Twitter. You know, Google has all our emails. Facebook has all our private messages, my, family messages, people from college. Facebook employees can do whatever they want with that data. That's the law. The law in this country says these fucking tech companies can literally do whatever they want with our data. They can sell it to the Chinese if they want to. And they do. And here we are turning on. Well, I'm not going to give away my location. I don't want to be cyber stalked. I don't want people swatting me or doxing me or anything. I just want my peaceful walk where I can do my peaceful live stream where I talk about... Okay, so, I mean, it seems to be more than that. I mean, they want to control the message, really, is what it's about. In fact, there was something in the bill about them being able to poison our discourse. Oh my God, I think that's Lee Paul's open mic right there. Yeah, that's Lee Paul's sober mic right there. That's fucking hilarious. Should I go in? No, I'm in the middle of doing this right now. I did just want to get that on there, though. The magic of New York, everybody. We were just walking around, okay. I'm not sober. Well, he's cool about that shit, though. I don't want to disrespect it. With my druggy ass. So, TikTok is responsible about certain shit, like cigarettes. You can't show a fucking cigarette on TikTok. You have to blur it out. You can't say... That's why everybody says unalive. You can't say the word kill on TikTok. There's some responsibility they have. But, like, these U.S. companies literally can do whatever the fuck they want with our data. They want to control the message. Okay, so they were saying it poisons public opinion. TikTok poisons public opinion. I think they really saw with a lot of this stuff, but particularly with the Israel thing, I think they were really surprised about that. The way that people have reacted. And that's, the celebrities, the kind of like fake Hollywood Illuminati people, have said TikTok's anti-Semitic, blah, blah, blah. It's spreading anti-Semitism, which I wouldn't really say that. I mean, I would say that it really does spread information. You're getting like this myriad point of view. You're seeing stuff from local news. You're seeing stuff from first-person eyewitness footage. You're seeing, just kind of, this is the future. Whether people like it or not, it should, in the place of, the old media, which is quickly being liquidated. Who was it? Deadspin or whatever, just fired all their people. The old media, even the New York Times is a disgrace. And so if we're going to have truth, if we're going to have information, it's going to have to evolve into something like this, where we all just report on everything. We film shit. We show it to each other. That's what they didn't like about TikTok. That's what they don't like about it is, and I know people hate hearing about this or talking about this, but it's like unionizing. They don't want you talking in the break room at work, comparing your experience. They don't want you to know that you feel the same way and there's solidarity against them. They don't want. They want to control the discourse, and so they could do that. That's what we're seeing, right? The dissolution of the legacy media, because it's not an American company, it's a Chinese company. I would say there is definitely I can't say for sure because obviously I'm seeing a reflection of my own fucking algorithm and shit, and so it's tailoring it to my own bias. But also there does seem to be things that the app just kind of wants to show you, or things, that's the amazing thing about TikTok is it knows to take you to new places too. It knows to try to show you new stuff, to get you interested in new things, to get you learning about new things. Like, urban planning talk is a huge thing. I see all these anti-car videos. I can't tell you how many anti-car videos I see on TikTok. And it's like, yeah, that definitely appeals to me, like, personally, but also it feels like something they want to push. You know, you see videos about high-speed rail in China, or the evolution of these modern megacities in China versus look what's happened in the United States. You know, it does seem like TikTok is continuously trying to expose the U.S. empire. I would agree. I think that's good. It doesn't seem like it's doing it with propaganda and misinformation. It seems like it's doing it with the truth. I mean, there's a lot of shit on there that it shows you that I'm like dubious about. Like, I see all these videos about Tartaria, and the fake moon landing shit obviously is insane. You know, that's what I don't get. Why don't they police that stuff? They police, like, oh my God, you're smoking a cigarette. You're banned. You're shadow banned. But, like, here, you can post all the videos you want about the earth being flat or fucking Tartaria. Supposedly, the theory with Tartaria, I don't exactly fucking know. But, like, they take all these pictures of the World's Fair from, like, the late 19th century in, like, Chicago, where they built these fucking, what's the word? Not exhibit. But they built it out of, like, plaster and shit. You know, it wasn't like marble. When you see pictures of it, you know, it looks like ancient Rome or something. You know, it's columns, and it's all this, like, fucking Ionic and whatever, Hellenic architecture, Hellenistic. And it's like, you know, to certain people on the internet, it's like, oh my God, what is this? This is the society that we had. And then there were all these fires in the 19th century, the Chicago fire. You know, was it an accident? There were all these fires. San Francisco got destroyed and quote unquote rebuilt. They're hiding our history from us, is like the fucking message here. Is, you know, supposedly there was this ancient society, Tartaria, that they're not telling us about. They're lying to us about our, you know, which, to be honest, they could be covering up our history entirely. How the fuck do we know? You know, but I don't really buy that fucking theory. That's what I'm saying is, like, I don't know why they're playing that shit to me, if they're just like, they know that, maybe they think that I'm susceptible to that. Maybe they think I'm just trying to kind of study conspiracy theories. You know, the moon landing is also the one you hear about constantly. So I've seen a few videos about that, but it's like, the thing about conspiracy theories, it's easy to make up a fucking story about things. That's what we want to do. We want there to be explanation. We want there to be reasons why things happen. It's not that simple, you know? Or like it is that simple. Like, yes, we did go to the fucking moon. I don't know. I don't even want to get into that right now. But the point is, like, TikTok is, it's basically like public access, except everybody's got a fucking channel on them at all times. And people can become experts and make videos about whatever it is. So, like, you know, you see videos from college professors, blah, 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 people that actually do this or that. So you're getting firsthand knowledge. You're getting eyewitness knowledge. To be honest, that's all fucking newspaper reporters even do. We've put all our trust in, like, the objective media, like the New York Times or something. It's like, you know, a lot of times all these people do is go interview people. Now you just watch it on TikTok, you know, rather than a reporter goes and talks to a fucking, you know, somebody who's an eyewitness or somebody who's a quote-unquote expert on something, and then you get their interpretation of it. It's like, now you just fucking see the actual thing. You just see the exploding fucking house, you know, in fucking rural Michigan or whatever, the meth lab that blew up like it's fucking Die Hard. Or you see, you know, like, it's the flow, you know, TikTok is all flow. You know, that's the thing that they really, I feel like this is worth talking about because it's like this, it is like this crucial, it's about to happen, you know, and so it's radically going to change it. Like all things, it's probably too good to survive the way it is, you know. I'm sure whatever fucking U.S. investors buy it, BlackRock, Vanguard, I'm looking at you, they will change it so it's shitty and just like Marvel movies. Or, it'll just be some kind of bass-ackwards algorithm that... I'm sure it won't be this subversive socialism, it seems to me like the videos TikTok is showing me are about how we could improve our way of life to make things better. That's what communism seems to want to try to do, is just make things better for more people. And so I'm sure everybody in my life, and this is something the fucking senators were saying, this is one of the things that was the most twisted of all, is like, I was thinking about calling, right? Because I heard, there was an alert on TikTok that was like, hey, you need to call your fucking representatives because they might ban this shit like immediately, usual, that they went out of their way to send that message to everybody. And so I read a news article about it. Supposedly, it's in one of my poems that I read. Supposedly, all these children are calling their fucking senators and shit. Children are literally calling representatives in like unprecedented numbers, asking them not to ban TikTok. And that's hilarious, just for one thing. But also, the senators are reading it as, this is proof that we need to get rid of this. This app has got this kind of unhealthy it's brainwashing people against this country. It's a national security threat. And this is one of my least favorite fucking things about my lifetime, is basically, particularly since 9/11, but even before that, every single thing that takes priority in this country is about national security. Quote unquote national security is the number one justification that they use for any fucking thing that they want to do with the military. And 9/11, surveillance, whatever. Taking your shoes off at the airport, censoring people, whatever the fuck it is. It's all national security. And the thing is, we don't even have a fucking nation anymore. Like, this country has crumbled from the inside. What national security are they fucking talking about? What good does it do to spend $800 billion a year on the fucking military when the country is not worth protecting? The country is more dangerous from the inside, or shittier. Like, if they took half that fucking money and spent it on the well-being of the citizens, the infrastructure, the beauty of our lives, the buildings, et cetera, building rails so we can get places without cars. We'd be a lot better off. Everybody would be better off. That should be the conversation. But we have a conversation that's dominated by merchants of fucking death. People that sell guns. Arms manufacturers. And so they, that $800 billion goes directly to them. That's why they want that fucking money. So it's all about national security. So we got to get rid of TikTok, for national security reasons. There's illegals. There's illegals everywhere in this country. The theory is China has bought up all these weed farms in the United States. China's bought up all this land in the United States, and so it's sending all these Chinese people to sneak through the border to work at these weed farms illegally. The illegals. I'm sorry, I'm going to start saying the word illegals because it's such a hilariously dumb thing that people have started saying. Oh my God, it's a 5G tower. Oh, it's a Link NYC. Jesus Christ. Uh, okay, where are we? Where were we? Um, Jack Kerouac died in 1969. I think just after they landed on the moon, a little while after they landed on the moon. He didn't even make it to fucking 1970. It's kind of crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, so it's kind of scary. You know, this is one reason why I do this, even though nobody really watches. I do think it's hard for me to do this on TikTok because you have to distill everything down to like a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And I don't know. I kind of pick up an idea, play with it for a while. I get distracted by something else. I go for that. Then maybe I remember the other thing. You know, and weaving that together, weaving ideas together, that kind of takes longer for me. You know, doing something in like 2 minutes, whatever, bullet point it, make it all, you know, have purpose, no fucking, you know, bruises or blemishes or weak spots or fucking awkwardness, nervousness, self-consciousness, negative emotion, negative self-consideration. So it's not even about posting. I guess I've been brainwashed by TikTok. You know, I guess that to be honest, it really is just a better interface. I don't know if an American company like came up with the same idea. That's what I don't get. Why don't they just make a copy of it? And why doesn't an American company just make a copy of it? It's not a complicated fucking app. You know, it's just like, it's like I said, it's about flow state. The thing about the scroll, they've done everything they possibly fucking can to make us hate Instagram, hate Facebook, hate Twitter. I mean, especially Twitter, but all of it. You know, Instagram, the fucking scroll sucks. It's all drama. It's all trying to spike your emotions. It's not entertaining. You know, it doesn't actually provide like value or anything. It's all just self-promotion, flyers. TikTok, it's all value. It's literally like sitting there watching the best parts. It's like channel surfing on TV, except it's just the best parts of what you want to see. Tailored to you by some Chinese algorithm. We're not exactly sure how it works, but you know, that is one of the differences, is that like their algorithm is just better. How did they do it? Why did an American company not do this? You know, it seems like such an American idea. It's basically just like the ultimate television. That's why I've like been hooked on it, because it's just like, I feel like I'm learning. I jokingly refer to it as hyper learning, but like, I do feel like I'm like educating myself. Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know this about, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. You know, recently it's been the migrant thing, right? They just put 1,000 National Guard soldiers in the subway. We want to talk about that as well. Seems important. I mean, on TikTok, the conspiracy is, at least in the comments section, something is going to happen. They put all these fucking, soldiers in the, National Guard. When was the last time they did that? 9/11. It's like that. Those people are dumb. I don't think it's like in anticipation. They think March 15th, some shit's gonna go down. There's gonna be another pandemic, because it's an election year. You know, last time they shut everything down, it was March 15th. So a lot of people are predicting they put this fucking National Guard there in advance. To me, that's insane. The government wouldn't do that. It'd be too obvious. Like, if something happened, you know. To me, somebody had an interesting theory on TikTok about just some random guy about, well, and I do kind of agree with this. It's just like it's their way of occupying the cities and militarizing the cities kind of in advance. Um, making it like a police state in a more literal way. As if New York isn't enough of a, but the intention of that, to me, is it's about protecting the property values, really. I mean, this migrant crisis, quote unquote, I really think is kind of overblown. This is their justification for why they are sending the National Guard here to the subway. Look at this. Nice. It's dangerous. There's been an uptick in violent crime. I mean, first of all, I've been looking at the statistics. I have not seen that. If anything, I read the opposite. There's less violent crime this year than there was at this time last year and the year before that. And And, that's one of the things I was trying to learn about on fucking YouTube, TikTok, school, watching videos on YouTube about what's really going on here, right? Is this hype? Is this racist, xenophobic propaganda? All these 175,000 migrants are in New York. What's going on? Is it dangerous? I feel like I almost got robbed in the subway a couple weeks ago. Coming home from the open mic, I had the wireless mic. Two guys in masks were like kind of chasing me. So, I don't know if it's overblown, if it's real. I'm sure it's nothing like it was in the fucking 70s or 80s. That's the thing that's like kind of a little bit weird about it, is it's like even if it's bad, it's not as bad as it is in probably Columbus, Ohio right now, or Cleveland, or fucking Memphis, or any number of fucking cities, Chicago. So really they're gonna fucking send the National Guard here? It's like, well, what's the difference? It's like, well, there's a lot of rich people here. I think they want to get out ahead of what's happened in these other cities like San Francisco or LA, where the blue mayors are perceived as being weak and have kind of allowed homelessness to become more prevalent, which, to be honest, is just a result of ultra fucking capitalism and wealth, disparity, wealth gap. It's not, it's not like these people are just bums. It's like they lost their fucking house because everything got more expensive, Okay, let me fucking put this down for a second. I gotta smoke weed here. On 2nd Avenue, I gotta smoke weed. Oh my god, is this gonna work? I can't pause this, fuck. I don't know where I'm gonna put this. Maybe I'll just set it up looking at 2nd Avenue. We'll take a little intermission for a sec. I'll keep talking maybe, but, oh, what's this? So yeah, it seems to me like, oh boy, this will probably get higher ratings than me walking around talking. It seems to me that they want to, particularly commercial office buildings, they want to nip this in the bud, I guess. I'm sure they're getting a lot of money, probably, somehow. The city's probably getting a bunch of money or something from this. But you know, it's about protecting the property value. The property value is super high here. A lot of rich people have their money in it. I don't know. Kathy Hochul. I'm not sure she's our friend. I mean, riding the train home last night after KGB, there was definitely a lot more police officers on the train, by far. I mean, there was cops on the platform, on both platforms, uptown and downtown. But there weren't really that many cops on the trains. A homeless guy got really aggressive with me asking for money. That hasn't happened in a while. You know, I want to stop calling it vlog. It's not a vlog. It's scenes from a life, okay? There is a difference. I'm not vlogging, okay? It's scenes from a life. I guess I can keep talking. They can hear me, maybe, I guess. So I just thought I'd give a little break. Thought maybe people just want... maybe I'd get higher ratings if I just showed the fucking street just by itself without saying anything. More of a John Cage kind of live stream. I guess we need new ideas. What are the big ideas of the 21st century so far? To me, this is real New York poetry right here. Okay, I need to talk about the Oscars and the Ultimate Warrior. Remind me to tell my Ultimate Warrior story. I do have an Ultimate Warrior story. The Oscars and the Ultimate Warrior. That's what I'll talk about. And also poetry. I'm just going to blab about poetry some more endlessly. What's new in poetry? New thoughts about poetry. For some reason, you can zoom in a lot further when you're live. I can't zoom in this far when I'm not live. So that used to be the 2nd Avenue Deli. Now it's a Chase branch. 2nd Avenue Deli is, I guess, Abe Lieball was like the proprietor. That's who this park is named after. Now it's a Chase branch. I just want to say fuck the naming rights of anything. Just ignore the naming rights of any stadium. This is a big thing on TikTok is stadiums, right? It's constantly what they want to build a new stadium that the rich owners of the team are going to profit off of. The city kind of, eminences are going to profit off of, and they want the taxpayers to pay for it. You know, they levy a sales tax or whatever to pay for a new stadium. Just the way that, I don't know. We're just so fucked in this country. That's like if with prolonged exposure to TikTok, you probably will be radicalized. I don't think that's a bad thing. This country needs to change. Clearly, I'm kind of on their side. I mean, look at the Supreme Court. It has activist judges. It's been packed with activist judges, and so it really doesn't feel like there is any hope, right? They just said that it's legal for Trump to fucking be on any ballot or whatever. It's unconstitutional for them to ban him from these states. So, I don't know. The Supreme Court is bought and paid for. Clarence Thomas, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. So it does kind of seem hopeless. It seems like there's got to be a revolution. It seems like we're probably headed towards something worse. David Mamet said it's going to get worse before it gets better. He said it's going to have to get worse before it gets better. I do want to talk about Mamet, because I still think Mamet is a great writer. And a great filmmaker. You know, we watched that Lansky movie. It's an obscure, I think it was maybe even made for TV, made for Showtime, or I don't even know. Richard Dreyfuss is Meyer Lansky, and it's about Israel. It's kind of like Hyman Roth. There's a lot of like Hyman Roth in this movie. Lee Strasberg played Hyman Roth in The Godfather 2. And I don't know. I'm not sure how Lee Strasberg, how good he actually was. Is that sacrilege to say? I'm not sure how good of a performance Hyman Roth actually was. We just watched Carlito's Way. Pacino's good. I celebrate Pacino. Pacino, I think, is a great... he just announced Best Picture, right? He did it with his typical kind of pizzazz. This guy's like sawing something. I celebrate Pacino. That mid-career, you know, Carlito's Way, it's a little more dialed in. He doesn't go totally crazy with the accent and the yelling. It's still like a character. Donnie Brasco was like that too. Just kind of an excellent... It's super fun to watch him. Super fun to... You know, he's just got this kind of tango that he does through everything. Scent of a Woman. You know, those late 80s, early 90s kind of Pacino movies. Glengarry, of course, Ricky Roma. It's full. He just got his kind of, fuck you, Dave. Yeah, so David Mamet. God, I don't know. Well, I'm just, how did he go to being like a Trumper? The way this guy talks about Trump, it's like, Jesus Christ, man, like... Why doesn't Trump get David Mamet, like, fucking... You know, he's always trying to get Hollywood people. David Mamet, from the sound of it, would love to be on board with Trump. I mean, he was really going to bat for his policies, saying he's going to vote for him, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? I mean, was that... I guess that's always who he was. But hell of a writer. Hell of a writer. His essays, his way of thinking, you know, writing in restaurants. He had a way of writing about theater, the romance of kind of theater life. That was rare in theater, you know? There aren't a whole lot of playwrights who publish fucking books of essays and shit. Oh, let me see if my flyer's still up. My flyer get torn down yet?
And then I was like,
I just posted it a couple hours ago. And so partially what I'm doing with these live streams is kind of like, man, I disagree with a lot of what he says. But he definitely has some interesting opinions about stuff. I guess like a lot of right-wing nut jobs. They got crazy opinions. That's why they play well on the internet. It's like, yeah, the government's buying glitter because they put glitter in the sky and it seeds rain clouds. That was a thing I saw recently. I don't know. It's just like we're suddenly in this world of like conspiracy theory supremacy. And the internet has kind of unleashed that in maybe an unexpected way. You know, they don't really police that on these apps. And I mean, especially on TikTok. I'm kind of surprised I saw shit about how the moon landing was fake. I guess they're trying to undermine the United States, but here's my take on the moon landing, all right? Have you ever seen a fucking an American jump a jet ski into like an above ground pool? Okay? Americans just have this kind of hold my beer fucking tendency to, you know, I gotta get up there. That's the moon, I'm going there. You don't think I can do that? I'm gonna climb that thing. You know, I'm gonna jump off this fucking cliff. I'm gonna go to Cancun and jump off a fucking cliff. You know, it's just like, I'm gonna ramp the fucking jet ski into the fucking above ground pool, you know? I'm gonna eat the turducken. Okay, where should I go? Maybe I'll go over to the good old Bowery. That's kind of cinematic. This is my Birdman, okay? I'm making a Birdman sequel. Birdman 2. This is for your consideration. Academy Award next year. This live stream. I'm submitting this live stream. It's had a lot. It's had it all. What the fuck was I saying? Well, I was talking about a lot of bullshit, but important things too. Yeah, we live in a conspiracy theory time. I'd say the sooner that we all get, you know, that's why it's weird to me that this is happening right now, because I just got back on TikTok a few months ago. I think probably, I don't know, November or something. And I was on it for a while, and then I got kicked off, I think, because I was smoking. And then I didn't even try to get back on it. It was like an addiction. Yeah, I've talked about it on here. Like, it, in that sense, it is probably unhealthy. But since when do the United States care about any of this shit? You know? The people on TikTok see through it, right? The people in the comments section conferring with each other, comparing notes. You know, that's why they don't like it, because it's a threat to their propaganda, to their brainwashing, to their message. And god damn. So I don't know. It's one of those things that's probably too good to last. They'll probably cancel it. They'll probably mangle it, make it different. Who knows? The Universal Music Group thing, them taking their... I just saw my shadow of my selfie stick and me doing this. It kind of looks insane. It doesn't look that bad on the screen, actually. Why did they remove all their music? It's like, I think because they weren't making money off of it. It's not owned by them. Who knows how much they were getting. I don't know. It definitely defies any kind of free market dogma that they preach about just letting the market decide. They are literally trying to control. We have tech monopolies in this country that own everything. Google, Facebook, they've kind of agreed to divide up the market share amongst these apps. Google gets a certain thing with YouTube. And I saw today, I read an article about how YouTube is, and this doesn't surprise me at all, but it is taking up more of the market share where people are dropping their cable service. They're just watching YouTube instead. And I think this is why I talk about this stuff, because we're moving into a world of video, every fucking thing. There's something about video, and TikTok is the exemplar of this. This is why they want to nip it in the bud and kind of undermine it, because they know that it's just a better, Facebook, Instagram, they're all trying to pivot to video and get everybody posting reels, whatever the fuck it is, because they know that video is a better learning tool. It's a more effective communicator, and there is like a fucking there's a changeover happening, right, between the old media companies, and it's kind of a graph. Who's gonna get the market share of, now that cable is folding? It's splitting up in all these apps and shit. Hulu, Peacock, Tubi, Paramount Plus. Oh, I gotta get Paramount Plus if I want to watch the new Frasier. I gotta get fucking Showtime if I want to watch Twin Peaks: The Return. I gotta get Disney Plus if I want to watch Hamilton or Captain Marvel. You see how dangerous it is here? These Democrat-led cities. See why they had to send the National Guard in? Yeah, so TikTok is just the panoply of the whole night world of the thing. The panopticon of opinion, a point of view. Hey, here's something maybe you didn't think about before. I was constantly seeing this guy, and this is what I mean by TikTok testing you. I was constantly seeing this guy who works at Colonial Williamsburg, and he's like I forget what kind of historian they call it, but it's like he teaches basically like extremely woke history. He went to Harvard, and he's this white guy with gray hair, and he was constantly popping up on my TikTok feed about how George Washington, blah, 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 owned slaves. Obviously, I didn't learn anything. But, at these places, Colonial Williamsburg, I guess, these other historical sites, they have a new approach to how they teach the history to reflect, they own fucking slaves. Jefferson, obviously, we know, was philandering with his slaves. And, like I'm saying, this is not something that I never probably would have seen this on YouTube. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it would have popped up, but like the difference with these other apps is you have to click a thing. You have to search for it and click it. With TikTok, you just get on and you get on the water slide and you go for the ride. and it's gonna show you all this stuff that's like you don't even, it is kind of like hypnotic and subliminal and brainwashing, because it's like you don't even like this guy I'm talking about, this George Washington guy. It's like I saw him probably 8 times a day for fucking a few weeks or something, and a lot of times I just click through it, but it's like it made an impression. There's a lot of shit on TikTok like that where it's like, I don't know, these people just get liked by the algorithm or something. I was constantly seeing this guy with a beard and a ponytail who like is sort of a philosopher, and he's explaining every single thing about the government and Trump and how they're going to take over and blah blah blah. It's like, God bless this guy, he's doing a good job. It's like there's nobody out there that's doing this. How did this guy corner the market on this? I post videos of myself jabbering all the fucking time. I've got no market share. I've got no, I'm not cornering anything. We got very weak market share. There we are, back on Broadway again, ladies and gentlemen. Which way should I go? I guess I can go down McDougal and we'll see what we'll get into over there. Then we'll maybe work my way back down to Soho or something from there. There it is, the Great White Way. Racist. Okay, so in that sense, I don't know. Did the algorithm detect something in me that knew I was trying to learn about this, or had a soft spot for this, or knew this would? I don't know. It was something, like I said, that would probably be outside the matrix of something that I may explore on my own, but it was educational. This guy he's doing this, modern colonial Williamsburg. And so he was, comprehensive in how he addressed these issues and referred to this and that. And I also see a lot of wrestling. For some reason, there's just tons of wrestling content on YouTube and TikTok. And I guess it knows that I have a soft spot for that, but I suppose people are not making a lot of New York school poetry videos on TikTok. In fact, I haven't seen any. There's not a whole lot of poetry on TikTok that I've seen. I haven't really gotten tapped into poetry talk. Does not seem like it exists, really. Brian De Palma shot a scene in Carlito's Way right up here in this pedestrian plaza. He loves this area. These things are featured prominently in Hi Mom. That early De Palma. Oh fuck! I got my 20% already. Fuck. All right. So I gotta shut it down maybe at 10% just to preserve my battery. With De Niro. De Niro's in this movie, Hi Mom. This is way before he started working with Scorsese. I think Brian De Palma recommended him to Martin Scorsese, actually. And I don't know, De Niro, he's really interesting in this movie. You can tell he's kind of like De Palma's like Jean-Pierre Léaud. He's got that kind of quality. It's 1969, so it's not, it's way before Taxi Driver even. And he has this just kind of like everyman quality that, I don't know, he got so intense with the roles that he would play. And I know this is going to sound like sacrilegious. I love De Niro, I love Pacino. They're both in so many masterpieces of film and so many, amazingly fun to watch movies and classic films that like you can't really criticize either one of them. But to go back to the thing, I would say Pacino is kind of more fun to watch, and these characters really had nice touches. You can tell Pacino has these kind of flourishes, and I don't know, maybe that just makes his acting a little bit more flamboyant or something, and I'm into that. But I don't know, De Niro, he kind of has a few actions that he kind of relies on. What are you, stupid? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? You know, like he'll say that he just has these kind of things that he'll plug into the situation. What's the matter with you? And it's like, I don't know. His acting, I think, is kind of for as much credit, he gets a lot of credit as an actor, right? De Niro gets a lot of credit, but I don't know. I would say I love his work. Don't get me wrong. I love his films. And, you know, he's done a lot of comedy stuff. Rupert Pupkin, or that movie, The Comedian, he made a few years ago that we watched. But he is kind of wooden. He's kind of wooden. I gotta say. I know that's like sacrilege to say, even, I mean, especially in New York City, but De Niro's, I don't know. Pacino, I don't know. Pacino got one note in his way with the screaming later on. But, you know, Michael Corleone, that's a very interesting performance when you consider it against something like Scarface or something like, you know, a Ricky Roma or... we haven't watched Devil's Advocate yet. So the debate goes on forever, you know. It's just discussing art here, discussing the giants. I think it's amazing that those two guys have each other. You know, De Niro, Pacino, Italian guys from New York. They had kind of parallel boomer longevity. They're 80, they're having kids with fucking 20-year-olds. You know, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. Everybody gives Leonardo DiCaprio shit for his age gaps. He's not knocking these women up. De Niro and Pacino are both 80 fucking years old. They literally have girlfriends in like their 20s. And they just got them pregnant. They just had kids with these women. It's like, you know, that's a lot more, if you ask me, that's a lot more irresponsible than what Leonardo DiCaprio's doing. It's like, they'll be dead before their kid graduates high school. You know, unless they somehow invent some kind of immortality fix-all in our lifetimes, which they could. If they cure death, it could happen. That's the kind, you know, why aren't they working on that? Or at least, you know, I don't know, give us a little more time. Span it out a little more. I guess they're kind of doing that. We're seeing the consequences of that. When we outlive our stay, we have an 80-year-old fucking president. You know, and an 80-year-old opponent, and, you know, 80-year-old legends knocking up 25-year-olds. To me, that's a lot more toxic, I would say. You know, but no, God bless them. It's a free country. They can do whatever they want to do. I guess it's not a free country. They can do whatever they want to do. The rest of us get criticized. Should I go down McDougal? I'm kind of afraid to go down McDougal. But it's so iconic. I gotta go down McDougal. I don't want to run into anybody though. Is that fucked up? I'm gonna live stream till 10%. Here, maybe I'll... Oh, it's such a nice view. Let me get that. Let me get that. Oh, sorry. Oh my god, I feel like such a fucking nerd with this thing. The selfie stick. They're laughing at me. Did you hear that loud laughter? Yeah, so I don't know. Anything I start to like, they have to shut down. Like my favorite pork bun place. I discovered that like a week before it closed right here. Munchies. There's still nothing in its place. They still haven't replaced it with anything. It just went out of fucking business. Look, it's just shuttered. There's nothing in Munchies. You know, why? Why not let Munchies stay open? Let Munchies do their thing. But no. They can't. They can't let Munchies do their thing. Okay, I'm gonna go down the, go back to here. Gotta get these iconic scenes in here. Okay. Yeah, they're not vlogs. It's scenes from a life, okay? I was doing scenes from a life before I knew what a vlog was. But I guess vlogs have been around for a while. I don't know. What's the point of doing this? It's not even like we pioneered anything. We're just vloggers amongst the hordes of vloggers. There's nothing interesting about doing it anymore. So what the fuck do we do? What's the next thing? I was one of the vlog pioneers. No, I don't know. I was very late to the game. Should we talk about poetry? Oh yeah, this Popeye's chicken has 2 stories. Maybe I'll get some Popeye's chicken and enjoy it in the mezzanine level, in the balcony seating. You can tell a high quality fast food restaurant by whether or not it has 2 stories. If it has 2 stories, you know you're in the right place. You know you're in a Michelin-starred fast food. Okay, maybe I'll talk about the open mic. I know people love when I talk about that. Yes! Or what was it? I was going to talk about the Oscars. I didn't see them. Oh, I was also going to talk about the Ultimate Warrior. Maybe I should talk... There's no reason to talk about the Ultimate Warrior, but I do want to tell this story, okay? Because he pops up in my TikTok. People realize now that the Ultimate Warrior is trash. He's trash. He didn't know how to wrestle. He's like Goldberg. He got hot for a certain period of time, but he really did not know how to work. You could not work a match with Ultimate Warrior. And it was kind of a mistake. To be honest, it was a mistake that Warrior put Hogan over. Or Hogan put Warrior over. Or I don't know. It was cool it was the hottest thing that happened when I was 6 years old. When the Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan, it was like the hottest fucking news in kindergarten. Everyone was talking about it. We thought the Ultimate Warrior killed Hulk Hogan. There was rumors that the Ultimate Warrior died. His heart exploded and they had to get another guy. That was a rumor when I was 5 years old. Somehow in kindergarten, that rumor went around. Maybe Josh Hogan made that up or something. But the word on the street was the real Ultimate Warrior died. And his heart exploded. From too much roids and blow. The roids and blow diet of the golden era, the golden age of WWF. My childhood. They're praying, it's a collective nostalgia, as Ashley so astutely pointed out immediately when I became hooked on TikTok. It's collective nostalgia. They just tap into collective nostalgia. Fuck. Maybe I should go the other way. Nah, this is good. Fuck 6th Avenue. No, I like 6th Avenue, but, okay, so the Ultimate Warrior, right? So as a child, I had an Ultimate Warrior wrestling buddy. He kind of superseded Hulk Hogan for a time. To a 5-year-old, he was more exciting. You didn't know anything about wrestling. You didn't know anything about work, you know? We didn't know anything about Crockett, okay? Also, kids just liked loud, you know, paint, colors, and screaming and shit. So we loved the Ultimate Warrior. Fuck Hulk Hogan. We'll take the Ultimate Warrior now. We don't give a shit. Hulk Hogan's only red and yellow. You know, Ultimate Warrior's like pink and green. And so anyway, you know, I have this kind of childhood soft spot, whatever, association with the Ultimate Warrior. And so when I was in college, freshman year of college, you'll see this often, these kind of collective nostalgia type figures from your childhood. Like Mr. Belding was the other guy. There's like a circuit for these people. You know, at least there was. Like TV stars from the 80s, sitcom stars, Screech. You know, there's like a college circuit for them. Like Mr. Belding would come to town. You know, I saw Max Weinberg because he was in Conan's band at the time. He came to OU. You know, for like $15, you could go see Max Weinberg, and he had a whole lecture about whatever, his journey. I don't know how they set what they talked about, but it was like a nostalgia tour or, you know, cult, whatever. And so one weekend, spring of my freshman year of college in Athens, Ohio, at OU, for their programming, for the edification of their students, they paid, I think it was, I don't know if the college was associated with it. I'm pretty sure they were, because it was in one of their buildings, to have the Ultimate Warrior come speak. And so I thought, oh, this will be fucking sweet. You know, we'll go, we'll see the Ultimate Warrior. He'll talk about WrestleMania 6 or whatever, how he beat Hogan. He's probably a normal, well-adjusted guy that'll just tell us about his, you know, his journey as a wrestler and the glory days. And what the hell has he been up to? You know, he had that kind of stretch in WCW where he came back at Halloween Havoc and that just went nowhere. It was another disaster bomb that meant nothing. You know, the Warrior was massively overrated, let's just say. The Warrior is like a wrestler for people who really don't know anything about wrestling. He had a few periods where he was hot, but like, he was like a physique guy. You know, when he started out, he was a tag wrestler with Sting. Sting just retired, right? Sting's kind of the last of the old guard that was still doing it. So Sting retiring really was like the end of that era. And so anyway, you know, we were wondering where the fuck Ultimate Warrior had been. This was 2004. And so he's coming to Athens, Ohio to talk about whatever. And so I pay, it was probably $10 or something. I think I paid, I don't remember. Me and Braden went, shout out to Braden. He lived next to me at True House, the dorm I lived in my freshman year. Maybe I should go down Cornelia Street. Me and Braden went to see the Ultimate Warrior. So we get there. At the beginning of the show, there's probably about, you know, a 2-minute highlight reel of like his wrestling era, you know, which has all the hits of hit at WrestleMania 6, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes out. When I get there, I see this guy in the lobby who's like, you know, not that tall, probably 5'9", 5'10", but he's super jacked and he's super tan. And he just has this, he had the same presence that my buddy's dad, Ray Graves, had. He just has this kind of like human spear, alpha, fucking high testosterone vibe. But he's in a suit. He's in this really like cut, like black suit. And so I'm like, what the fuck? This guy's just like radiating. Like that's how Ray Graves dressed too. Just like, you could tell he was jacked underneath his like designer suit. You know, he wore like expensive clothes. You could tell. It was like nice cloth. He stood out in our hometown, but he was also like super, you'd always see him rollerblading. This is Ray Graves, not Ultimate Warrior. But they're a type. Ray Graves, you'd see him rollerblading at 90 miles an hour down Goodale Boulevard, holding a cell phone to his ear, like talking to somebody with his shirt off, or like he'd be in, you know, like Italian slacks, Gucci belt or whatever, talking on his cell phone to God knows who, probably Giselle. He doesn't even care. He's like, he's so in the fucking zone, jacked out with his testosterone. We'll never go back to Cornelia Street again. We're never going to go back to Cornelia Street again, everybody. Taylor. Memories. Remember Cornelia Street? We'll always have Cornelia Street, okay? The street where the poets go to die. There's so much poetry history on Cornelia Street, including, I've read here. I read at Cornelia Street Cafe. Rest in peace. And Taylor. Shout out to Constance Renfro. Constance Renfro booked that. Thank you. The legendary Constance Renfro. Legendary editor. Legendary New York editor. Okay, so anyway, she was there. So yeah, the Ultimate Warrior came to Athens, Ohio. So this guy is jacked. You can tell he's jacked, even though he's wearing probably, you know, it looks like an expensive suit. Maybe it's not, but I don't know. He looks like he's in Michael Mann film, or he looks like De Niro. He's just like but he's tan. I don't know. He's super tan. And so anyway, this guy comes in. It's the Ultimate Warrior. I'm as I go in, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Of course, it's the Ultimate Warrior. So he comes in. His whole fucking speech, his whole 90 minutes. Turns out it's sponsored by the Second Amendment Club of Ohio University. His whole speech is about guns. It's all pro-gun propaganda. He doesn't talk about wrestling at all. He talks about the Second Amendment, the history of the Second Amendment, blah, 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 all of that kind of shit. Why we need to have guns. At one point he said something about if somebody broke into his house in Arizona, he had like some kind of compound. He referred to himself as Warrior. He called himself Warrior. And he was trying to get people to fucking, I don't know, I think he had a reality show or something. He was trying to like get people to subscribe to like his become a warrior and you get my newsletter or whatever the fuck. And merch or whatever behind the scenes. You get to go shoot guns with the Warrior. So yeah, he's like, he hoped somebody would come into his house, break into his fucking house in Arizona so he could shoot them. He's like, I wouldn't hesitate without a second. I would just blow them away. I would terminate the extreme prejudice. It's like, this is the Ultimate Warrior. He came to a college to say this. He came to Ohio. He probably needed money, one thing. He wanted attention. And he wanted to spread his propaganda, his noxious pollution. Oh, fuck, that poker open mic. Is that, what's going on? Maybe I'll see if that's going on. In Athens, Ohio. And so, he had come, he was like partying or whatever with the Second Amendment Club at OU. I mean, can you imagine? This is in rural Appalachia, Ohio. He was talking about they all went out and shot guns together. The Ultimate Warrior went out and shot guns with the Second Amendment Club. They all went to the range. And during the Q&A, because we came to hear about wrestling. I came to hear a bunch of fucking like pollution about right-wing fucking insane NRA talking points. Wayne LaPierre. I didn't realize I was coming out to see Wayne LaPierre. I didn't realize the W stood for Wayne LaPierre. I thought he was the Ultimate Warrior, fighting for peace. He had kind of a mystical quality to some of his promos. The gods! Ah! So anyway, this guy stands up during the Q&A who was like in a tie-dye t-shirt. He probably came because of wrestling. He was like seeing Mr. Belding or whatever, That's what we thought we were getting into. It was like a nostalgia trip. We didn't realize we were getting into this really bad Bush-era military, roid addict, gun addict, egomaniac, has-been. Death wish. We didn't realize we were going to get dragged into the Ultimate Warrior's death wish. And then he went on WWE a few years later, did a promo, and then died. His heart literally did explode. You could tell just from looking at him. You're like, this guy's heart's going to explode. He looked like a big, exploding heart. He looked like his heart was already kind of pumping out of his neck. His neck just looked like a big vein. It just was like, ah. Where the fuck? Okay, so anyway, this guy in front of me is like in a tie-dye t-shirt. He's a hippie. And he gets up and he's like, well, what do you say? And he said something about, probably something from like a Michael Moore movie. Probably something he heard in Bowling for Columbine about guns. And, in Canada they have, it was the same amount of guns, but they have way less, murder or whatever. And the Ultimate Warrior goes, what the fuck? Where the fuck did you hear that? Where did you hear that? The guy's like, the guy starts freaking out because he weighs 98 pounds. He looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. He's, like the Ultimate Warrior's on stage. Everyone in the fucking room is like a gun nut, right-wing, toxic, whatever, bro, coke head, ditto head. They're all children of the ditto heads. And so the Ultimate Warrior goes, "Where the fuck did you hear that? It's bullshit like this and fucking liberals like you get the fuck out of here." And he just like goes off on the guy. It's like, well, he's probably got CTE. Even though the Warrior didn't even go that hard, he's probably got CTE. He's probably got massive brain damage. Shrivel. He's got a lot of shrivel everywhere. There's a lot of shrivel involved with roids. Look at McMahon. He's just a human shrivel. Look at McMahon. What a shrivel. What a shrivel of a piece of shit that guy is. And the Ultimate Warrior, same thing. "Where the fuck did you hear that? Bullshit." And the guy's like, look it up. It's statistics. So, I don't know. It was insane. It was not what we had bargained for. And then he died later. I mean, he seemed stressed. He seemed like a very stressed guy. All right, there was something else I was going to say. I think I got to get off. Oh, boy. Thank you for watching. I know it's only 86. My phone is about to die. I want to get off before it dies. Another exciting episode. Hopefully, we'll do lots more live from the field. We're out in the world. Yeah, that's my Ultimate Warrior story. I'm not convinced about the Second Amendment. It didn't change my mind at all. Quite the opposite. It only confirmed. But those are the people who have all the guns. People like the Ultimate Warrior. People who look up to the Ultimate Warrior. So we can relax knowing that. They're the ones who have all the AR-15s. And the belt-fed grenade launchers in the beds of their pickup trucks. Meanwhile, poetry is my AR-15. Do you hear that? Do you hear that, U.S. government surveillance? Poetry is my AR-15. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Village Cigars went out of business.
It's the same tier. It's in the same tier.
I always tell people.
It's wherever they're.
It's whatever is closest to them. That's what they say. Right.